Didn't mean to get that close.
Well, howdy. Welcome back to RC Restomod. Today we're going to do something that we haven't done in a while. It's going to be just like the very first episodes I ever did. We're going to take a Traxxas vehicle, hop it up, and test it. And this one's going to be a lot of fun, guys. A whole bunch of fun. It's going to be a blast. I picked this thing up cheap. It had a brushless conversion half done. And we're going to finish that brushless conversion out, get it running great, see how fast it goes, and we're going to get rid of the psychedelic stained glass decoration going on here. This is all stickers. I think we'll keep the windshield and the air intake here. The rest of this is all going to come off. We'll do something custom there. Let's see what comes inside a Blast. Well, this is normally tethered down by an elastic strip, which I took off so that I could get this off easier. Then all your electronics sit on this little skid, and I took it apart before I started filming so I could order parts for it. But the servo sits down in this, and it's kind of a pain to get in there. The servo sits there. The receiver sits over here somewhere. We've got ESC and the motor. The motor that was in there is a 3400 kV motor. Coolant pipe's a little beat up, not too bad. That's the receiver box gasket. We want to keep everything as waterproof as we can. That's some weather strip that used to sit right down in this groove. We'll have to replace that with something better. This was pretty chewed up. This is the drive coupling that connects directly to the motor and drives the rear end, and it's, well, to be honest with you, it's a bit beat up. And then there are there's little bushings that go in this tube that your drive shaft goes through, and those are replaceable. And I got all those parts. And in here, this is kind of neat. This little jewelry box looking container I've got here. Inside we've got a Hobby Fans 4300 kV motor, a fan for said motor, which we won't be using obviously because we've got water cooling for it, a 60 amp, it says waterproof, but we saw on the other boat how accurate that is. 2 and 3S compatible ESC, and a program card for the motor. So we'll get that all figured out. Now guys, I am a glutton for punishment. I mean, I bought a cheap boat and fixed it up with the Temu boat. The Temu boat has two problems. First off, it's a bit unstable. The hull is real shallow, so when it comes up on plane, there's very little of it in the water, and it's real lightweight, so when it hits a wave with one side or the other, it wants to turn over, and space is so limited inside that thing that all it can run is a tiny little battery, and the motor is a lot smaller than this one, but the boat is not a whole lot smaller. Now this one does have a V-hull. Hopefully it'll draft a little deeper and be a little more stable. It's got a contraption here that'll hold a stabilize. They call this a turn fin, evidently. I didn't get one of those. We'll probably make one, and hopefully it'll make for a more stable boat. But I'm going to finish taking it down, and then we're going to clean up the insides and start putting pieces back in it. Alright, I got all my pieces taken apart and cleaned up, and I think we're ready to go back together. This little thing was a pain in the butt to get out, and then the bushings, I had to take the dry shaft, hold it in there at an angle, and tap it with a hammer to drive the bushings out. They weren't going to pull any other way. So let's get some new bushings to go in those. Alright guys, here we are at the place I've tested boats before, and yeah, it's too windy to be testing a boat today, but it's been too long since I gave you guys a video, and yesterday was way worse, and it's not supposed to get any better, and it's just going to get worse as we go through the day. So here we are. I got the boat all put together, and the top here is just held on with an elastic band. We'll tape it for waterproofing and for extra insurance, but all the new parts are inside. Now, let's see how it runs. All right, guys, that was a short test. The Blast comes, let's see, there's a mount back here for what they call a turn fin, and it's not a stock part. It's a hop-up part that's available. I forgot the part number off the top of my head. I think this definitely needs it, because anytime I got more than about, that was between a third and half throttle, anything more than that, and the boat would just instantly swap ends. Another thing I can do is this part is adjustable, and that would give me an opportunity to point the propeller down a little bit, which I think will keep the nose in the water better, which might add some stability. But I think with the turn fin and this adjusted down, this is going to be an awesome boat, because that thing was pretty fast on almost no throttle. I'm going to go ahead and run this battery down before I go home, and there's going to be more improvements to this boat, and we're going to get rid of the psychedelic stained glass paint job it's got. Well, this part right here broke, and that's the part you use to adjust the pitch on your propeller. Lets the drive shaft walk in and out a bit. It also makes it where it won't turn properly, because the steering's all messed up. So we'll fix that. We'll order a new one of these parts. It just bolts on right there, and we'll get the turning fin on there, and I think it's going to be very good. The thing's super stable. When it would wipe out, and I think you'll see it on video, so it comes completely out of the water, spins around and lands right side up. So my flipping the boat 30 seconds into a run is probably over with this one. When I can run it wide open, we'll see if the itch for a 4S or 6S boat's been scratched. Probably not, but we'll see where it all goes.